Hello, and welcome to another day of Bhagavad Gita Sadhana. I am so glad you could join in today. Today has many connotations throughout the world. It's Cinco de Mayo, and I don't know if this is international or not, but it's Blessing of the Bikes Day. A church near us is having a free session to bless motorcycles and bicycles. So if you rely on either of those, you might want to give them some extra love. And I'm dedicating today's practice to, I was going to say Stephen Kwan. I'll make it that, but I'm also going to dedicate it to Maria and her mom. Thanks for the message, Maria, and the opportunity to address your needs more directly. And we'll get into that. The Gita aims to address your needs directly. As we continue to explore what is your path in this world, we've had so many options. And as I've mentioned, Arjun keeps asking Krishna, what is the best option? What is the best option? And what sets Krishna apart as a real teacher who wants to convey wisdom instead of mere knowledge is the fact that Krishna keeps saying, they're all the best. In essence, they're all good, and you have to pick, Arjun. And this is going to relate to what we'll talk about today. We'll have verse 14.1 from the translation in Embracing the Song of Your Soul. Oh, it's got some oak tree pollen on it. Great. So this is the introduction, the first verse for chapter 14, the yoga of the division of the three gunas. And if you're like, what's that? Fear not, we'll talk more about that coming up. But Krishna says in verse 1, I shall again explain the best of all knowledge, highest knowledge, knowing which all sages have gone from here to supreme perfection. So once again, Krishna is explaining something that he says is the best. So what's a person to do in this world? Because you probably hear what's best for you from so many other sources, like put on your phone and the news feed might pop up automatically. This is what's going on in the world, and this is what we need to do. Social media. Oh, people are really ready to tell you what's best there, right? Parents, teachers, neighbors. I had an experience for the past 2 days that I thought I'd share because it's really struck me. For the past 2 days here in sunny Cleveland, I've gotten up in the morning and I've tried to figure out what to do, outside or with my day. And I've looked at my phone and I've looked at my computer to find out the weather. And they say different things, of course. And they say things like, they've been saying, you're going to get rain much later in the day, much later, which initially caused me to say, okay, well then I can plan out time later to do all my outdoor stuff. But then I said to my partner, Kathy, I said, it's supposed to rain later, but my migraines are telling me it's going to rain really soon. And I said, and also the sky in the morning, this is an old thing if you live on water, on a large body of water, the sky was red. And there's a saying, red sky in the morning, sailors take warning. And I told her, I said, and there's been red sky. There's red sky, my head hurts. I think the rain is coming sooner, but the technology is saying later. And she said to me very wisely, now, what would you think? What would you know if you didn't have a phone and a computer? What would you know about the weather? And I went, son of a gun. You're right. I'm being kind of Arjunish and keep trying to figure out what to do from outer sources when I have inner wisdom. And guess what? My inner wisdom turned out to be right. It rained earlier in the day and then it stopped. And then the phone says, oh, it's done. And I said to Kathy, my head says, it's not done. And then it rained again. And then it was done. My head says it's not done. So this is a great lesson for me to keep getting over and over. And it's a lesson for you. You can rely on input from the outside, but truly, when it comes down to it, you know what path you need. You know what you need to do to take care of yourself, your body, your day, your commitments. You know it. And this part of the knowing section of Bhagavad Gita, you know it, and you have to start believing you know it, because everything else in the world is going to try to tell you what's best. But you know what's best for you right now. And we're going to access that today in our practice. So it's good to review. I've mentioned some of these things before, but a long time ago. There are different ways to do the pose that we do every morning, which is standing on one foot with the hands at whatever level works best for your body, your shoulders, for example. You can keep the toes of that foot on the ground. The toes of, let me see if I can show you. So the foot of the standing leg stays down, but you can keep the toes of the other leg down too, or bring them up. Now, what if you have something not quite right in your lower body? You can take a chair. This one is full of oak tree pollen. And if you have that, that's an added bonus for your behind. Sit. And then your feet can still be on the floor, but you can kind of turn them out. Let's see. There we go. Even lift it up gently, and the other foot doesn't have to do too much work. Or conversely, you can lie down and do the same shape, just on the floor, which you may or may not have oak tree pollen on it. The oak trees know when to provide their pollen. They don't need any computer or phone telling them. Good for them. So, same way, listen within. Maybe another option is you can visualize yourself doing a pose if you've got something going on today that it's just not appropriate for you. So I've provided some outside info now, and these are all the best, by the way, the best for different needs at different times. You get to make that ultimate choice now. What is the best as we go into our pose? And I know that you can do it. What's best? This is best for me right now. Switch. What's best on this side? It might be different. Wonderful. Let us do our meditative practice. I encourage you to consider, if you shut off all your tech today, your other sources of information, and you relied solely on what you observe and know, what would you know about your world around you? Let's think about that for 5. Welcome back. It's wonderful to have you back and to have you here so consistently. I hope you have a wonderful whatever comes next based on what you know you need. So this is the official end time, but if you have time, stick around for some bonus observations that I don't know really go in with Bhagavad Gita teaching so much, but that I would enjoy sharing with you since you've been on this journey. If you want to, you can stay. Otherwise, I understand. Have a lovely day. But I wanted to give you two updates. One is the little baby birds I talked about a couple days ago with Mama Robin having to adapt to them every single day. They are hopping on the edge of the nest and getting ready to fly. And they have their own personalities for sure. So Mama Robin or Papa Robin, whoever's got the food, comes back, stands on the edge of the nest, and they're big enough that I can see their personalities now. This is one baby bird as the parent birds land. Okay. But then there's this other baby bird that as the parent birds land, so we got an introvert and extrovert birdie personality. And then the second thing is I thought about this because of the squirrel noise behind me you might have heard. You know, there's something in the news lately about people observed an orangutan using medicinal herbs on a cut on her face. And oh my gosh, animals know so much. Animals and us, we are animals. We're more alike than we give credit for. Like we might think in the human world, oh my gosh, we have to set boundaries. We are not the only ones. So squirrels, a lot of people think of them as, these cute little beasties, which they are. But I have seen more than once. There's the pestering squirrel. I don't know if it's a male squirrel wanting love and affection or just somebody who's really fond of tag. And then there's the pestered squirrel. And the pestering squirrel will pester the pestered squirrel so much. And I have seen this happen. The pestered squirrel turns around and shoves the pestering one out of the tree. And then from a great height falls this squirrel. Bounce, bounce. And you'd think they'd learn, but nope. They get right back up, go up the tree, and return to pestering. So we are not the only beings that have to set boundaries on this planet. We can take inspiration from that pestered squirrel, I suppose, or not. So I'm mentioning this because, it's easy to learn about even animals, anything from the internet, etc., which is fine if you use some discernment. I encourage you today, stop reading Wikipedia and start writing your own pedia, your Mariapedia, your Mompedia, your Debpedia, your Stephen Kwanpedia, your whatever, because you know more than you give yourself credit for. Start sharing that wisdom in your life by your example and with others. And hopefully we'll see you tomorrow. Until then.